our Golden Rule project began about 27 years ago. And it's been the aim of the project to bring various formulations of the Golden Rule from throughout all time, all religions, all teachings, to students in Utah schools. And when I was a young girl, I often heard the story of my grandparents who got married. One was Mormon, one was Catholic, and their parents thought, uh-oh, trouble. But my grandparents put forth the Golden Rule to both families. Neither could argue about it, so they got married with the blessings of both families. So I grew up aware of the Golden Rule and had another important experience in 4th grade where we had 2 students join our class somewhere, and I can't remember where they were from, but we said the Pledge of Allegiance, as I think we did once a week or every day, I can't remember. But our 4th grade teacher, Eleanor Trawl, also had us recite the Golden Rule. And I was so touched that it included our new friends. It was an opening for me that verified this right relationship that the Golden Rule speaks about. By doing unto others as you would have others do unto you. Now, the doing, as we've talked about, requires being. We do have to work on ourselves in order to share with others an experience and make a better and better relationship with that. I see both Mandy and Steffan are here, and they've been part of the Golden Rule Project forever. Steffan, at a conference here, A&E, in Salt Lake, about 2011 or 12, performed a magic show for us at the conference. And then he said to us, our group, how can I help with the Golden Rule Project? That's what Steffan did. He stood up and said, how can I help? So Steffan, do you want to talk a little bit about this creation of a performance that you title Attention, Magic, and the Golden Rule?
Sure. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, if it weren't for you, Bonnie, I would have never created it. I'm a professional magician my whole life, and I've written many productions on many themes that are transformation oriented, like water, how to use it, what it is, why it's so important. Water. That's a big topic, and I perform in schools for students, K through 12, and older, of course, and adults at conventions and things, of course. But many of these assembly programs were written for municipalities who pick up the trash or control the water and the sewer, and electrical companies that are mandated by by the way we govern things to spend money on education. So I had quite a business going, and Bonnie said, "Can you write a show on the Golden Rule?" And of course I said yes. But I didn't realize it would take me triple the time to figure it out than all these other scripts that I've written. It was hard to figure it out, how to convey, because everything I do with magic, it's visually showing the principle that my mouth is talking about, my head is talking about. So I'll tell them to recycle, but I show them visually by taking paper, throwing it in the trash, and then it magically jumps up and lands in the recycling bin. And it's fun. It's really, really fun. And so anyway, I had to come up with this for the Golden Rule project, and I thought it would be a week. Maybe I'd go there and do a week of shows, and that would be the end of it. But something happened, and it was weird. We did the first one, and that was great. It went well. And at the second one that same day, the principal was worried that the kids would revolt or throw tomatoes at the person on stage, or because there were 3 gangs in that school, violent groups. And it was tough. When we walked in to load our equipment in, there were chains, walls of metal in front of the library or in front of the lunchroom or whatever. They had lots of partitions, and it was scary, but I wasn't worried. But still, that was interesting, because at the end of that performance, the principal came up and said, "Oh, that was so good." Within a few minutes, the kids, they were so into this message that Bonnie had recognized was important. And I was in the Gurdjieff work for many years and had never put that together, never realized that Gurdjieff's a Golden Rule teacher. I wouldn't have known that, but it was years into it that I discovered that more and more, of course. But it's obvious, but I just never quite made that connection exactly in that way. So it was a real great experience. And then a bunch of friends and Bonnie's organization and others kept it going. So I did tours for many years and learned a lot about the Golden Rule by bringing it to the field. At probably 200,000 kids got to see that live. And then during COVID, I put it on video so that any performer or speaker or minister at a church or whatever can take little bits from that show and produce them themselves. So that's now available to the public and is a completely, so to say, royalty-free thing. They can just go and learn it and do it. So it's been replicated, and it's very, very much fun. It's been a great project for all of us.
One of the things that has been critically important to me in this work is the laws of world creation and world maintenance. I am continually drawing the Enneagram with all the time, sketching it out with respect to the law of 7, to the process by which you, Steffan, went through. Marlena, I'd love you to speak about this process that we published Keith's books. He really examined law in a way that, to me, was the embodiment on all levels, world 48 down to world 6, of making a right relationship within all those worlds. So, Mandy, would you like to jump in? And John's here too. He's been part of this for a long time.
Muted,
I
Marlena.
don't want to take up too much time.
Oh.
So I'll only say a couple of things, and then I think it's more important to look at the children's.
Oh, right.
So yeah, we brought Steffan to Maine, to perform in two different school districts. That was very successful, and the kids loved it. The teachers loved it. It was just fabulous. We provided things for them to put up in the schools, posters and so on and so forth. And then one other thing that our group together did was there's a annual sidewalk art show in a town nearby, and we set up a tent and grills, and we had a little menu of making crepes. And that too was just really successful. Hundreds of people came by and came into our little tent with the Golden Rule Project. And we raised a little money for the Golden Rule Project. So it was nice.
Yes, I think it's good that you brought up the slides that Peter will put up. The Golden Rule Project has been working for all 27 years with the boys and girls clubs, primarily of Salt Lake, because that's where we are and that's where our shop is. And what's up now is an image that was an ad for the Golden Rule Project in Parabola. So the next images are, yes, oh, I just love it. These children, they come by the gallery, they first came with this gentleman, Walt Hunter, who, I can't find him anymore, but he was director of the Boys and Girls Club that was close to the gallery. And these young people with Walt would walk through the gallery and they loved the art. And it was so important to them because it was an impression. They were impressions that they were excited about: drawings, photographs, abstract art, sculpture, all the different things that we exhibit. So you can keep going with this. Oh, this is something it's all mounted on corrugated cardboard from we had the exhibit in the gallery for this groups of work. But the children did create art that then we presented at the gallery for the Golden Rule Project. So you can just thumb through them all. The notes are wonderful. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Be kind to each other. Be respectful. Be a good friend. I mean, all these things children came up with were the things we've been talking about for the last few days, and things that people talk about day in and day out. I see many more examples of people being good to one another on local, regional levels than we are worldwide on levels of war, etc. John, do you want to add anything?
No, Bonnie, that seems to cover it.
Oh, good.
I just want to add one thing about Keith's writings. He talks a lot about self and other and shows the lawful relationships and how those laws created our three brains and how our three brains work for digestion and so forth and so on. So the self-other image has been strong in you, Bonnie, I think, when you went and saw that poster and realized the Golden Rule project should start, that story. Can you tell that one?
Well, I'm not sure which one you're talking about, but I did. Our gallery was the center of the anti-war movement for many years. And there was this fellow, Jeff Fox, who 2 years after we started the gallery, he started the Crossroads Urban Center. And when I'm not sure I've ever told you this, Steffan, but it's a service center for poor, homeless, etc. It's just a block and a half away from the gallery. And when we started the Golden Rule Project, I was taking a walk around the block, and a homeless fellow came up to me and handed me a Golden Rule card. Do unto others. And it's been my experience and my experience during this conference that it is alive and well. And I do believe it is the basic principle by which we all live, the whole cosmos exists, the motion of creating balance with consideration for others or the planet. Or are we done with time-wise?
I think we are probably there. I think you've done it was great hearing from you and Marlena and John. It's wonderful.
There's also the wider document that has more photos in it will be on the website, and probably a link on the Jamboard fairly soon as well. So if you want to dive into it further and in your own time, then you can.
Thank you.
And then we are due to come back on the hour at 1300 or 1 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. So we have about 40 minutes, a little over 40 minutes for a break.
Steve, could I talk to you for a sec?